Hi everyone, Caroline Marsh here, checking in at PSP Limited. Really excited today to share with you one of my biggest challenges. But before I go into that, I hope that you are being inspired because Trisha and I are so excited to share with you ideas and strategies and giving you some hints and sharing with you what is a possibility for you. Now, the majority of you that saw or watched or heard my story, I shared my story both on a podcast as well as on Facebook Live because I wanted to share with everybody else the fact that I have been through a lot to get to where I'm at today, and because that's just the way that success really is all about. It's about overcoming obstacles. So I want you to also feel that to believe that where you're at today is not your final destination. Do not accept that to be your final bus stop. Instead, look at it as let it be your springboard towards financial freedom. I remember my biggest challenge then was the money problem. Yes, money challenge, not having enough money. Now, if you don't have enough money, you are restricted with choices and options. So, you go out to eat, guess what? You eat the cheapest meal. You having to buy something to wear, you have to buy the cheapest, not because you're being a good, you're watching your money, but just because you do not have the money. Now that I don't believe is a way to live. You want to be able to have choices in life. So I was in that place where choices were very limited. In fact, at the time, my husband was the only one that was earning money in our household because I had stopped working. My son was then born, and the feeling of inadequate, the feeling of unresourceful, as if this was just the end. You almost want to resign at a place of, oh my gosh, is it really ever going to change? Are my circumstances ever really going to work? And in that moment, I remember feeling as if, things may never really change. But the one thing that really changed for me was when I began to ask God, there must be more to my life than this because I've just had it. And on the second day of asking, when I went away to a conference in Alicante, I met a guy called Steve Bolton. That's the day that turned my life around because Steve now began to share with me ideas, strategies of, and helping me paint a picture of my future and how amazing that would look like. And from that moment onwards, I began to have believability, if there's such a word as believability. But yeah, you know what I mean. I began to believe in myself because I then had that moment of walking the journey with somebody, and that was the day that things began to work out for me because it started off from me on the inside to believe it was possible and then begin to work on it on the outside. But I had this support network that helped me to become. And so Steve being a support pillar was the biggest thing for me. So now I don't know where you're at. But one thing that I do know is that shouldn't be your final destination, that you can actually change your current circumstances. You can change where you're at today. And you will have to start off by, believing in yourself that it is possible and finding the practical help. Because if you don't get help, believe me, that feeling of unresourcefulness could actually make you become even unresourceful, like for real, unresourceful. So stay tuned as we share with you some more, ideas and strategies and things that we did. But this was just to help you understand that, I may be where I'm at today, but guess what? I've been at that place too, where things have been really tough. And so be inspired and hopefully you can get yourself onto that journey of being empowered. God bless.